I don't know how, but I've completely managed to avoid almost all Gen Alpha content, but at this point, I am honestly too curious as to what on earth is going on with this generation, and also, I want to find out. Is it ironic? The headset is going on. I got this headset on sale. This mic isn't even on, so you can't even hear this. We got the gamer RGB. Let's start off with the video that my friend sent me. Steamed Hams, Gen Alpha. Now, Steamed Hams is a very iconic meme, as you might know. It's so versatile, you know, you can really introduce any gat into this Steamed Hams meme. So I've seen this like 10 minutes ago, and I was like, fuck it, recording a video right now on Gen Alpha humor. So I've already seen it, but I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see it.
Well, Skibbity Moore, I made it, despite your bibrections.
Ah, incredibly candy Chalmers, welcome. I hope your body is ready for a Bowser Fargassy luncheon.
Riz.
So much to just process, even though I've seen this. Okay. I have seen one Gen Alpha video from the same friend. One Gen Alpha video, and it was, sticking out your gat for the Rizzler.
Oh, egads! My gat is ruined!
My gat is ruined. I mean, it is
What
pretty
if
funny.
I were to purchase Pizza Tower and disguise it as my own Riz. Ho 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 ho. Digitally circus-ish Seymour.
I'm actually already too old to understand these references, that's crazy.
Skibbity more! Super incredible, I was just stretching my gat on the Skibbity toilet. Sigma Riz exercise. Care to join me?
Why is there Huggy Wuggy coming out of your band, Skibbity Moore?
Good
Oh,
God.
that isn't Huggy Wuggy, it's Riz. Riz from the Rizzed Ohio we're having.
Jesus Christ. Riz from the Rizzed Ohio we're having.
Rizzed Ohio.
Yep. I eat that every week. Me when the Riz
Super incredible, I hope you're ready for some
happens.
off-water gat burgers.
Yeah, I thought we were having Rizzed Ohio.
Fucking cat burgers. This is the stupidest shit ever. Oh my god.
No, I said steamed gat. That's what I call gat burgers.
You call Gat Burger steamed Gats?
Yes, it's a Giga Chad dialect.
Uh-huh. Yeah, what region?
A Giga Chad
upstate
dialect.
Ohio?
Really?
In upstate Ohio.
Well, I'm from Pizza Tower, and I've never heard the phrase steamed Gats.
Oh, not from Pizza Tower, no. It's an Undertale expression.
Yeah, I see.
Why is
These Gat
Undertale
Burgers are
mentioned?
quite similar to the ones they have at Pizza Tower.
Oh, no.
Is Pizza Tower like a Fortnite location or something? It's a game. 2023 platform game created by the indie developer Tour de Pizza. I'm so out of the loop. I don't see the relevance. I mean, I can see that I would fucking hate this game. You know, that's how you know it's Gen Alpha. So I guess
Bad
guess we got
Skibbity
that.
burgers. Old Sigma
back
Mayo
to
recipe.
the Skibbity burgers.
For steamed Gats.
Yes.
Yes, and you call them steamed Gats
Despite the fact that they're obviously
pibby
Riz.
glitched.
Oh, okay.
Hey, you know the one thing I should... Excuse me for a skibbity second.
Yeah, of course.
Excuse me for Skibbity saying.
Oh,
stupid.
well. That was Holden 100. Good time was had by all. I'm rizzed.
Yes,
I'm all
I
rizzed
should be-
out.
Lord!
I'm all out of Riz, man. It's been a long
What is
day.
Ben Manning in there?
A level 10 gat?
A level 10 Gat! At this pizza time of Pepino, at this garden of Ban in this part of Ohio, retrofied entirely within your risen.
Yes.
May I riz it?
No.
You can't Riz my Risen, Superintendent Chalmers. I'm sorry, I'm all out of Riz. You can't Riz the Risen.
The Gat is
It just doesn't work like that.
No, mother,
believe
it's
it.
just the Phantom Tax.
How could you not know that? I mean, really.
Well, Skibbity Moore, you are a cringe fellow, but I must say, you rizzed a good Gat.
You rizzed a good cat on God. Oh my god. It's crazy. Okay. Great. My upstairs neighbors are doing dumbbell-assisted squat jumps. Wow, that sure was something. Holy crap. The invasion of Gen Alpha is probably a good one. Alright, let's all take a moment of silence, because Today's the day that my brain will forever be tarnished by the horrors of Gen Alpha. It was already pretty tainted from the Rizzler Gats. I did my toes in the Minecraft lava there. There's no turning back from this point on. Let's get it skibbity into it.
There are 4 of the most notable generations known in recent years of humanity.
Wait, what?
4 of the most notable generations known.
I thought bro said 4 of the most knowable generations
of humanity. Boomers, Gen X,
okay,
Millennials, and Gen Z. These
Gen
4
Z?
generations lived in harmony.
No, they did not.
It just goes with the intro, so let me play this out. All was well in humanity, and although each side had problems of their own, when times got rough, they came together to conquer them with iron fists, crusty iPads, unstandable personality, no attention span, are just some of the things that Gen Alpha has been labeled with. And in the last video where I ranked every generation's worst faults, everyone asked me, but Tommy, you forgot all about Gen Alpha. Best believe I didn't.
Oh,
forget.
good
No,
God.
Gen Alpha is on track
By the way, I fucking hate anything horror, so this is gonna be fun.
being the worst setup generation that has ever existed.
I don't know if people would consider Five Nights at Freddy's a horror game. I think it definitely is horror game, because, that is very scary.
It's the combination of every generation's worst faults combined into one. And the first thing I want to start up with is entertainment. Now there's a very important date I want you to all remember, which is February 15th, 2015. And why is this date important? It's because that's the date YouTube Kids was released, aka the killing of childhood entertainment. For every other generation, there was a time where your main or only source of entertainment was the TV or a family computer. And kids' main source of entertainment, since usually they didn't get iPhone 14 Pro Maxes at 5 years old. So off rip, we didn't have unlimited mindless access to things we wanted and basically had to watch what the TV.
I haven't thought about this a whole lot, but it just cannot be good that there are people being born into this world that have never known what it's like to play outside without a phone in your pocket. I mean, it's like, I think every person that is in a generation, which would be, you know, every person ever, I think a person from a generation would probably say, I'm in the best generation because blah blah blah. So of course, you know, I'm in Gen Z, I'm in the best generation in my opinion, because I really like the fact that we basically got this, at least in my like age range. I was born in 2000. I really like that we got this like period of time where in my childhood, up until I was about like, I want to say like 10, 11-ish, there was just like very limited internet connectivity. We had TV shows, we had things like the Wii, the DS, Xbox, PlayStation, all that. I think it was very interesting to have like that period of time where things were very contained within your neighborhood, pretty much. Your neighborhood or like your town or whatever. Because of that period of time, we had to kind of cook in the crock pot of time, of eternal time, and basically experience humanity in sort of 2 different phases. So there was the, you know, there was the pre-iPhone phase. This is really long-winded way of saying we had a pre-iPhone phase and then like a post-iPhone phase, at least back in my day. And I think the iPhone, it's called the iPad generation for a reason. The iPhone and the iPads and all that shit, once you were born after that, you had never seen the before, obviously. So there's just this, like, unhinged nature to growing up without the contrast of, like, analog stuff, I guess. So I can imagine this is, like, people of Gen Alpha are definitely going to be very different than people of Gen Z. And of course, Gen Z is also very different from Gen X and then millennials and boomers and etc. But like, out of any generation, I feel like the internet, because it's like so exponential and technology is kind of just always exponential, I think the generations are probably just going to get like more different and more different. And the fact that there's already such a huge divide between Gen Z and Gen Alpha, where I haven't even like seen, like the memes are just different, and we're on the same internet, but we're already in different pockets of the internet. And there's more pockets now than ever, and it's just fucking insane. All right.
Rams chose. You could say that the TV is mindless entertainment, but not at the level we have now. Comparing a selection of programs chosen by people versus a selection of content tailored to your specific needs, we know which one's more addictive. I mean, come on. Which Gen Alpha is the first generation.
Right, like with time, like the media is just getting more and more specific to the consumer, and I think, you know, that has its perks, but it has a lot of fucking downsides, let's be real.
Grow up without these restrictions. And you know what? I would say that's actually a-okay. I mean, as long as the content is helping push forward positive educational brain stimulating videos, then no need to worry. Right? Yeah, for any of y'all that have taken a gander at your little cousin's iPad, you would know that's not the case. Like, bro, they really be out here watching videos like this glued to the screen. You look in their eyes while they're watching one of these, and I genuinely think you'll turn into stone. For Gen Z and millennials, man, we really grew up with the last ounce of childhood shows that we can reminisce on with happiness. I can look on with happiness at most of the cartoons, childhood shows, and books I read as a kid. The fact that there's gonna be
I think that's the main qualifier here is like the quality of content and also the personalized aspect of it. I think that makes a massive difference in like the kind of impact that it has on your life, because watching TV shows growing up like SpongeBob and like Avatar: The Last Airbender, like those made such a huge impact on me, but they're like high quality like pieces of like, you know, art basically. I mean, SpongeBob, it is art, but it's also kind of funny to call it art, but technically, yes. I have those kind of things that I would actually call like a masterpiece. Like I have those things. Those things are part of my identity. But like the further we get into the advancement of For You pages and tailored content and like short form stuff, like I feel like we're kind of losing that like quality that you get in the long form content. And I don't think we're gonna like lose TV shows anytime soon, but I think there's probably gonna be a shift, and there is already a shift happening where like apparently the Gen Alpha kids are glued to their iPads. They're not watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, right? They're watching like other shit on YouTube, and I'm sure some parents are doing things differently, but it seems like the majority is having like this like TikTok upbringing. So
Gen Alpha kids looking back at Coco Melon and Skibbity Toilet then being like, oh man, they don't make
that's the fucking Skibbity bullshit. Okay,
like this anymore. This shit was a classic, nigga. No.
I mean, they just might. It seems like it might be a classic, but I feel like there's all like the length of time in which things are going to be funny and relevant is just getting shorter and shorter, and it has been for a while. So I'm wondering like how fast these things are going to become irrelevant.
Waiting to happen. Like, I'm sitting here trying to understand how they're going to be genuinely happy and nostalgic over this shit. And don't get me wrong, okay? Gen Z and millennials had their weird shit too growing up as well. Niggas was out here watching Uncle Grandpa, the most brain dead shit you'll ever watch. I know y'all remember the old
I
MLG
never seen that,
where
but
whatever the this was playing. But you know what? I'll take any of these any day over Skibbity Toilet. And another problem with all their entertainment is all the weird things they actually consume. Like, do y'all think all the weird stuff that bypasses on YouTube Kids would ever play on a television? Elsa and Spider-Man kissing videos, weird pregnancy videos.
I'm sorry, what? What is this? Okay, not this crap. Please get it off my screen.
YouTube Kids looking at Elsa and Spider-Man kissing videos, weird pregnancy.
Oh. This feels very, very fetishy almost. What the fuck is this?
Videos. We're not even gonna get into that thing. Just the most trash and mind-numbing shit you'll ever see. I don't even want to go through all of it. Taking a scroll.
It's like, I think a lot of these memes, or they're not, that's the thing is they're not even really memes, but like a lot of this weird Gen Alpha content, like it could theoretically be funny, like to me, but it's like it's not even meant to be funny. I feel like a lot of this stuff is not ironic. Like it's just like not ironically funny. Like they genuinely see this shit and think that it's funny. Like they see some weird head in a toilet say some weird shit and they think that is like actually funny, and it's not this like they're not laughing at like the irony of how awful it is. Like that's what's concerning. They don't have that level of like maturity. Obviously they're little kids, but like they don't have that layer of like awareness of, like, anything.
Scroll through the homepage makes me feel like I'm about to have a rainbow seizure. I can only imagine the type of mindset they're going to grow up and how this type of content is going to affect them in the future. I don't think it's gonna be good. Everyone else is already thugging it out, and we had it way easier.
I mean, I think the same can be said for, like, any generation. Like, the last couple generations haven't been looking too good either. Like, I mean, like, my grandma was still in World War II. It's like, wasn't that long ago, relatively. And, like, you know, my parents, who I don't talk to anymore, they are pretty fucked too. And then, you know, Gen Z, I think a lot of us have a lot of trauma from the unsupervised internet access, because no one knew what was happening, and my parents sure as hell did not know what I was watching. And, like, I've seen some shit at age 11 that I should have never seen at age 11, nor any age for that matter, and, like, that left an impact on me and, like, millions of other people too. So, like, I think every generation has, like, perks and, what's the fucking opposite of perks? Molly? Downsides? One time I was prescribed Percocet by my doctor, and it was a terrible experience. Every generation has ups and downs. And when you're not in the generation, I think it's easy to be critical of the other generations, but there's definitely a lot of concerning, like, there's a concerning disconnect, like an increasing disconnect from, like, the human nature that we, like, biologically or evolutionarily kind of, you know, behind on the times, because biological evolution doesn't happen in, like, 50 years. The technology is advancing way faster than our bodies are, and so, like, these children aren't really that different from us biologically, and they are, like, the disconnect between the biology and then the, like, type of stuff they are, like, growing up in, it's gonna get bigger and bigger of a disconnect. That shit's gonna fuck them up real good, for sure.
Another problem I see is definitely education. In general, I feel like the entire world is facing an education crisis. Like, who in reality wants to teach anymore? You get paid a salary equivalent to a popsicle stick. Kids don't listen to you and have no respect for you. And kids can't even comprehend the lesson you're required to teach. Like, just imagine being a middle school teacher in the year of 2023. I thank God I can do YouTube full time, because I wouldn't make it alive after a year after working. And
I can't fucking fathom. Right, I actually have seen these TikToks about teachers talking about how the children in their classes can't do the stuff that they're supposed to be doing, and it's, like, so fucking wild to me.
Recently, there's been a
like, that's
lot
so
of
fascinating.
teachers complaining about how dumb Gen Z and Gen Alpha actually are. Saying that there are 7th graders that can't even read at a 3rd grade level. Like, bro, you're supposed to be able to read chapter books by 2nd grade, and these kids out here struggling to read Dr. Seuss. Now, granted, there has always been dumbass niggas in the class that genuinely can't read, but from the amount of teachers I've seen complaining about this, it's on a whole nother level now. And I can honestly believe them just off of when I read some of the comments y'all be making. You ever see a comment online and you legit have to sit there and hyper focus to make out what they're even talking about? I'd be like, damn, did you even look at what you typed out, my nigga? What are you talking about? Maybe it was just different for me because I was a scholarly student. I've always been good at English and literature in school. But now it feels like instead of it just being 2 dumbasses in the class that can't read, it's the entire class that can't read. More than ever, is it possible to let everything but you...
Really the entire class? Like, what are they doing that, like, what is really, this is what I'm really curious about, like, what is happening specifically to where the kids of Gen Alpha can't, like, literally can't read and can't keep up with, like, the education system? Like, what is actually causing that? Is it, like, actually the iPad content? Is it, like, the reliance on distractions to get through the day or something? Like, is it, like, the young exposure to this technology? Like, what the fuck is going on there? Like, why are they so behind? I don't get it.
Do the work, which is why I think this is happening. Another problem is definitely socializing. We already know all of Gen Z being addicted to their phones is causing them to be unreal, antisocial human beings, talking like troglodytes and burning up when the sun hits their skin. But Gen Z was just the experiment group. The game turned from
God.
experimental mode to alpha testing now. At least for most of us, we could fathom a social life without using our phones. Going outside after school to play all types of outside games with the homies, meeting at a park, playing basketball, soccer, baseball, whatever. Having this be the huddle ground and just chopping it up. Things that require the brain to be in
Bro, I'm fucking zoning out already. My Gen Z is showing.
and cause our actions to have consequences. Gen Alpha sadly is the first generation to be deprived of this. They were born with phones and tablets in their hands since birth. Their new meeting huddle ground instead is a Discord call with their online Roblox friends, having e-sex and Discord calls and all types of monkey business. Like, you know how we were all super excited when it was recess time in elementary school and we could finally go
I really don't know anything about Gen Alpha, so I have no idea if this is exaggerated or not.
outside? I guarantee these kids do
If it is, then great. If it's not, then God help us all.
not give a they'd rather sit inside and play on their tablet instead. And I can't even put blame on all of them. Like, lockdown definitely did not help with this issue. Can you imagine
Oh,
when
right,
you were a
yeah.
kid, you went from first grade to third or fourth grade and you're finally back in a physical school socializing? You missed damn near half your experience.
Yeah, I mean, that's gotta be, like... Yeah, that's definitely gonna have a
Those are the
fucking
most important
impact.
times for learning how to communicate. It's not normal for anyone, let alone
Okay, so the pandemic, obviously, made a huge impact on this. So that makes sense.
child to be locked away from socializing like that. Another thing that's definitely going to be worse is creativity. Most of us remember as a kid when you would have toys and board games and read childhood books. And with all of these things, especially when you read a book as a kid, you could imagine the scenario coming to life, which is a good way of building up the brain's cognitive abilities and helps you create huge things in the future. You would play fight with your toys and act out scenarios of your wildest dreams that could only be imagined. But with Gen Alpha and their iPads, you don't even need creativity anymore. Like, what's the point of imagining things creatively when you could just play Subway Surfers for hours and play Skibbity Toilet Roblox Obby with flashing neon lights? If you're already getting dopamine rushes every time you open the screen, then of course you don't have to worry. Another thing that's pretty bad is Gen Alpha parenting. Now look, okay,
Right, I'm
obviously
like,
parenting is
where are their parents? What are they, like, the parents are, like, millennials and Gen X, I'm assuming, right? Or, like, maybe some Gen Z? But, like, what are they doing?
not a walk in the park. And most parents at the end of the day are trying their best to make it work with the worst circumstances given to them. But the problem with these kids is not like they're bad like every other generation has bad kids. It's that they're demons. Like, have you ever tried to simply take away the iPad from a kid? They throw a fit.
Thank God I haven't. Jesus Christ.
The whole building goes
Fucking
down,
hate
the
kids.
sky collapses on itself. It's like trying to take a bone away from a dog's mouth. The equivalent of how a crackhead would act if you took away 5 grams of their finest crystals. And in general, just not knowing manners and how to treat people. Like, I'm damn near starting to sound like a boomer.
I mean,
I'm
to
not
be
talking
fair, the video of the kid with the knife, that's pretty old.
about in the sense of speaking to every adult like they're King Charles III. What I mean is simply saying things like sorry or thank you or excuse me. Pretty much basic things.
I mean, I feel like obviously this guy's, entertaining, trying to entertain the viewers, but I think I have also seen like plenty of other plenty of videos on TikTok that show like gentle parenting and things like that. Like, there's probably levels to this, right? There's probably a ranging severity as to how much these kids are like actually stunted versus, the parents kind of being able to mitigate the effects of the pandemic and, TikTok existing, iPads existing, that kind of thing. Like, I'm sure there's exceptions and there's, all kinds of variables, but the fact that it's like probably more looking like a majority of the kids being this way is like, I'm really curious how that's going to affect like our civilization in the future.
Things you should already be taught as a kid.
Imagine Gen Alpha like running for president. What the government would probably be kind of fucked by then.
Complaining about saying that kids in the first grade are starting to talk back to them. For me personally, almost none of the kids talked back in elementary school with a few exceptions. If the teacher said
A few what now?
few exceptions. If the
A few exceptions.
teacher said 1, 2, 3 eyes on me, your ass better have been quiet after the me or you were getting a call home that day. And I'm putting the blame on some parents being too because if your kid acts like that to a teacher with authority,
Bro, I was expecting a fucking masterclass on Gen Alpha memes. let's look up Gen Alpha memes. Alright, we got the New York Times. They probably are extremely out of touch, but what do they got? Do you know what a GAT is? What about a Rizzler, and how precisely does one pay a phantom tax? That's the question that I want to know. To the answer of that question. Welcome to the language of Gen Alpha, blah blah blah. See, this is the single video that I've seen, but it's like, are they gonna get more creative, or is it just like, these are like the 4 lines that define Gen Alpha humor? Like, this is all they've got. This is all they've got. Is this like, this is all they've got for the Gen Alpha memes? Like, sticking out your gat for the Rizzler. You're so skibbity. How old are Gen Alpha right now? The oldest members are 13. Alright, so 0 to 13. They need some help creatively, and I mean, Tommy also mentioned that, you know, they're probably gonna be creatively stunted. I'm sure people of any generation can be creatively stunted, but if this is all they've got, it ain't looking too hot. I'm gonna be real with y'all. A Rizzler is a good person. Well, the word can be used as a compliment or a joke. According to Jaden, who's 12. She said that the boys at her school in New Jersey had been singing the song lately, adding that it gave her a headache. Thank you for that, Jaden. Nobody really knows the meaning of skibbity. It has entered the lexicon by way of the animated series Skibbity Toilet, which has racked up more than 700 million views. That is concerning. A typical episode is 15 seconds long. Okay. And features a man who pops his head out of a toilet bowl and launches into a song heavy on the use of the word that gives the show its name. Just comedic genius. It's easier if you just watch it. I have to watch it? Yeah. Okay. Oh boy. This is 20 minutes long. Alright, that's enough of that. I don't like, Tariq 8 said, of the series. It creeps me out. Every time I go to the toilet, I just want to get it quick done. Bro is fucking traumatized. This is sad. Phantom Tax refer to Phantom, a popular streamer on Twitch who regularly appears online with Mr. CNAT. When friends are eating in Phantom's presence, he insists that they share some of their food with him. That's the Phantom Tax. Why is this a Gen Alpha joke? So like, Gen Alpha's humor is just random garbage from Gen Z, or whatever Gen Z is doing. Random garbage, and they just like, take it for, like, face value. The irony is completely lost in the sauce in between the generation, and they just take it as, like, actually, at face value. Like, there's no nuance or anything. It's just, like, haha funny. Like, what? Incredible. In a TikTok video posted in October, blah, 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 listed a few terms, which does not mean get your act together. Who would think that? Who would think that? I guess Mr. Lindsay, 29. His students tried at first to make him believe that GAT was an acronym that stood for Go You Athletic Team. I mean, skill issue at that point, man. I'm sorry. Wow. He recently had to explain GAT's real meaning to a colleague whose students had convinced the teacher to display the word in the classroom. Wow. I can't believe people are born anytime after, like, 2004. Like, whenever I hear someone that's, like, I don't know, 12 or something, they're like, I was born in 2011. I'm like, no you were not. No you were not. Impossible. Online, members of Gen Z have begun to realize they are no longer the new kids on the digital block, and that Gen Alpha might be coming for them in the same way that they had once gone after millennials. I mean, we're coming after Gen Alpha. So, I think Gen Z is coming after every generation. We do not discriminate. I don't think a single member with any sort of chronically online knowledge, any singular member of Gen Z would give a rat's ass if Gen Alpha gave us shit because it's fucking Gen Alpha. Like, why would we listen to Gen Alpha when they've got fucking Skibbity as their mascot? I mean, Gen Alpha is making their own memes now. I don't know if this take is gonna age well, right? But, like, I feel like Gen Z is, like, it's you've got to be some fucking criminal mastermind to be able to actually claim that Gen Z is cringe and then have Gen Z actually care about that. Like, the whole point of Gen Z is that we do not care. We do not care. It's so weird. It's like, I've only heard, like, gat been used in, like, other contexts as, like, just a slang word, not as, like, a Gen Alpha meme. So this is just so strange how it's, like, turned into this, like, weird, like, 1 out of 4, you know, they only have 4 memes. So 1 out of 4 memes, that's so weird. Like, why that? I guess it's just, like, whatever blew up or something. Bro, Jessica has fucking had it. She's about to end it all. Whenever I think about the linguistic differences between generations, I just think, are we really gonna do this again? I mean, you're an assistant professor of digital media, and you don't understand that language evolves. I mean, even I can understand that. Generational differences and divides have always been played up to some extent, even before the heyday of the internet, but social media really exacerbates them. Yes. She cited OK Boomer, a retort popularized online by Gen Z in 2019. Was it really 2019? Okay, Boomer? I guess so. Gen Alpha's slang terms make their way into the wider world. The young people responsible for their popularity are ready to move on to what's next. I mean, yeah, that's kind of how memes work. If millennials start saying them, we'll be like, we're done with these now. Can you imagine a millennial saying, stick out your gat for the Rizzler? Like, anyone would be put off by that. Oh my god. I think anyone would be put off by it if anyone said it, so it doesn't take much to be put off by it, because it's just kind of horrible, kind of horrid and awful. Alright, so we have that. Is there really just only 4 memes? Like, we have Skibbity Toilet, the Gat, the Rizzler, what else? Fucking Pizza Tower or something. What's the other one? There's some other shit in the steamed hams one, so, or excuse me, steamed Gats. Or Gat burgers. There's gotta be more than 4, okay. I need all Gen Alpha memes to answer this question once and for all. What are the Gen Alpha memes? We got a best Gen Alpha memes, or a Instagram account, 56 followers. What in the fucking shitcock is this? This is the last year of being a kid, because next year we gon' be teenagers, partying, drinking, making sex. Oh my god. Holy shit, I was not ready for that. Making sex. Oh my. Oh me, oh my. Oh my lordy. Oh. Making it. Wow. That is amazing. What is this? Oh my god, this is... Okay, it's not that bad. Okay, we got the classic bottom text crap. Seen that. My mom wouldn't let me listen to Old Town Road Kids Bop version after 4 p.m. Okay. I don't see how is this a Gen Alpha right now? Gen Z be like, I'm not addicted, bro. I just need 1 hit of the jewel. Okay. Maybe this isn't the best source with 14 likes. Reddit. Reddit's got all the answers. Reject. I need the most popular, and I need it of all time. Okay, we got some self-aware Gen Alpha people. Is there no Gen Alphas on the subreddit? What is this? Is this sub satire? Are you guys actually children? I'm not Gen Alpha, but this sub is genuinely hurting my soul. These posts are the weirdest shit I've seen in my entire life. He does not have a skibbity gat in Ohio. This has to be satire. This has to be satire. Like, obviously this is total satire, right? I'm so confused. Am I really too old for this shit? I want a first-hand account of a real Gen Alpha person to tell me if this is satire. This is what I'm saying. I feel like Gen Alpha is trying to do Gen Z memes without understanding the underlying irony that's made them funny in the first place. Oh, that's funny. Like, I think it's just, like, so interesting because, like, they're kids, right? Like, there's anywhere from 0 to 13 years old, so, like, it's gonna be immature because they're literally kids. I think it's so interesting what is, like, blowing up in their generation, like, what is, you know, what they're all kind of watching and what the slang that's kind of circulating in their age group. Like, I think that is what's interesting about it, and I really want to understand why is it specifically, you know, these things that pop off. I mean, you could ask that about anything. I just think it's interesting what is the the appeal of Skibbity Toilet. Give me some Gen Alpha memes. One more try.
The fact that
Okay,
Gen
this is
Z
actually
no longer
interesting.
2014 incoming technology was the Google Glass. Is that still a thing? Are people still using that? Like, did
Incoming technology Fortnite? No. What? Why is that the technology of 2017? No. Oh man. I would want Fortnite. That's incredible.
that new jobs in 2024 is space tourism agent? There's space tourism agents next year? Like, we're gonna see Elon Musk
Next year.
partner with aliens from a different dimension being like, okay.
We got the fucking Best Buy on Mars, the fucking Walmart employee
Business
on
venture.
Venus.
For your next holiday, you can go to Mars. Like, oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not counting it out, because anything is possible. But next year, I'd like to see it. I wouldn't go, but I'd like to see it. But
Probably,
okay, enough of that. I feel like we've
let's be
learned
real, the first company on Mars would probably be McDonald's.
a little bit more about Gen Alpha and like what the values are. At the very least, we got to see a very fun infographic. Actually, let me see. What is Gen Alpha slang? Is there Gen Alpha slang yet?
No cap, you be mad sus.
I don't know about all that, but I do know that there
Right,
are actually like
sus.
Gen Alpha
I
memes
mean-
out now. And there was actually a headline on like a whole discourse like a couple weeks ago, where apparently some Gen Z were getting a little stressed out because they came to the realization that Gen Alpha is very much on the internet and have their own set of memes now that they don't understand at this point, and it's like sort of like a, oh, we're getting old sort of
Yeah.
thing. Like there's this whole thing with the Skibbity Toilet on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, which has become very popular with Gen Alpha, and it has its own lore and things like that. Some people are calling it, it's like this really creepy head coming out of a toilet, and people have done with it what they do
I
with
don't even
most things
wanna
on the
fucking
internet
look
and
at
meme
this
the shit
shit.
out of it. With some calling it Gen Alpha's version of Slenderman, and it's just wild because for a lot of Gen Z,
Okay.
this is like a reminder that we are not the youngest people on the internet, which actually comes with a lot more than just feeling old. But like I've said earlier in this video, Gen Z has been for the past couple of years the main target demographic for literally everything online, or most things online, let me be real. But as time moves on, Gen
What
Z
is this?
is going to eventually age out of the
This is
target demographic.
romantic library shot out of nowhere. What the fuck?
Meaning the most relevant group of people that the world has sort of become more of
Turn
like the
it up.
traditional media. Basically what TV used to be.
I haven't
Like,
listened
I
to a
bet right now you're
single
probably
word he
watching this
said.
video.
Anyway, in conclusion, Gen Alpha humor is not ironic. It is not satire. Now I know a little bit more about them, but really it's probably gonna stay a bit of a mystery to me, as I'm apparently just too out of touch to understand the Riz levels of these kids. So there's that. Thanks for watching my video, I guess, and see you around.